Alie, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, fire away, dude.
What?
Fire away, dude.
Oh. Yes or no? Finding the right hair color for you, Alie, can be a challenge.
What color is my hair right now?
Burgundy.
Yeah, was that on purpose?
No.
Did I need to use E-Salon?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I fucked it up. Oh, wait. You can scratch that.
No, it's great. E-Salon offers professional grade, leave that in, completely personalized hair color that's created just for you and delivered right to your door. Alie, you fucking need this.
I need it so much. This is the last time I will color my hair without taking the steps to get the right color. I grabbed a color off the shelf. It was the wrong color. My hair is maroon now.
Don't do it. Alie, do you love questionnaires?
Yes.
Here's a hair questionnaire. Upload your photo and a personal colorist will formulate your individually blended color from over 15,000 pigments.
Oh my God.
I know.
I need E-Salon and a time machine to go back to yesterday.
Totally. Well, they've got you covered. There's 100% satisfaction guaranteed if you're not happy, Alie.
Oh God, I need
with
this.
Your color. It will give you a free reformulation or refund.
I think anything's better than what I did to myself before.
I mean, you look cute.
Thanks, dude. But you know what? I like that the color doesn't fade. Like they have the grays covered. Because I get some grays every once in a while.
I mean, at 23 years old, our gray is like pretending to start to come in.
I know. It's probably because we're such big thinkers.
We're so young.
So you can visit esalon.com/slumber party, all one word. And do that. You get 50% off your first order. So that's $10 for your personalized hair color, which is crazy because the last time I got my hair colored in a salon, it was like $180.
Dude, you can do it your freaking self. I've been doing it my freaking self for years and years.
Yeah, I really got the wrong color. So I need to use eSalon. You get 50% off your first box at esalon.com/slumber party. So go do that. Don't be an Alie Ward.
Send us photos too. Hashtag it at, I don't know, Alie in Georgia. Let's see your hair.
Yeah, just tag us in it on Instagram. Let's see your pictures.
Let's do it.
I want to look at your hair.
Bye. Listen, you shouldn't have to stretch your budget to buy jeans with a little give. High-end denim can cost hundreds of dollars, but bargain brands don't offer the same level of style and comfort.
Yeah. You can't get some jeans that cost you hundreds of dollars and like have to do a juice cleanse to get into them.
Totally. So Distilled, spelled DSTLD, they've revolutionized the fashion industry with their timeless luxury grade denim. So you get jeans that would normally cost you hundreds starting at just $65.
Yeah. They eliminate these crazy markups because they refuse to work with middlemen.
Refuse. They ship directly to you for free and guarantee the fit, or they'll send you a new pair until they're perfect. Distilled jeans are built to last and will be a staple in your closet for years.
They also have a bunch of fall jackets. So if you're like into a classic denim or you want like a bomber jacket, you can just expect the same level of quality.
Okay. And so for a discount, go to dstld.com/feral and you'll get $10 off your first order.
That's
d.com/feral for $10 off. Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Feral Audio. Georgia. Before we get to what we learned this week on our very special podcast called Slumber Party with Alie in Georgia, we have a very special announcement.
You guys are about to learn something, and it has to do with April 16th at the Hollywood Improv. It's a live show. Oh my God.
It's not just a live show. It's like the live show. Well, Dan Harmon was amazing. Yeah. Nothing can top that. But,
oh my God. Oh my God. Oh man.
Okay, let's just say it all at once. Giada De Laurentiis is our live show guest. 6 o'clock on August 16th at the Hollywood Improv. You should probably get tickets ASAP.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. It's kind of an early show, but you know why it's early? Because we're shooting an episode of Giada at home. Yeah. At our Slumber Party show. So you have many opportunities to be in on something that you're going to listen to later. It's what? I can't even believe this.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know what's she going to wear. What kind of pajamas?
She's going to look insanely amazing.
I know.
So even if you can't come to this because you don't live in California and can't get a flight quickly, you're going to be able to watch this on Giada at home on Food Network of all freaking places. Okay.
Sugar.
So do that.
Yeah, and wear pajamas. When you get tickets are $10. Get them now before they sell out because they will. And line up some jams.
Yeah.
Get there in your jams. Georgia, what did you learn?
Me? Okay. What did I learn this week?
Yeah.
All right. I learned that there is a place called the Human Library.
What?
You heard of this?
No.
A place called the Human Library.
Okay.
Where you can check out a human as a living book and you can hear their story.
Oh my God.
And they pick people who have interesting, hard stories that are different so that people can... The point of it is
this only in like the Ukraine where
No.
you can like just get humans anyway like that?
it's not like you rent them and take them away. It's like you say, hey, can we sit at a table? I want to understand about your like Muslim faith more. I want to understand how you escaped the Holocaust, or I want to understand how you overcame heroin.
Wow.
How you got on heroin and how you overcame.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... You can hear people's stories.
That's
and so
crazy.
And the point of it is to try to understand other people from other walks of life more.
That makes tons of sense. Where is it? How long do you have them for? Do you have them for 2 weeks and then it starts costing like $0.25 a day?
No, you have them for a half an hour and just hang out with them.
Where is it?
There's 150 of these places around the world. If you go to Human Library Organization on Facebook, you can find them. And it turns out they're going to be having a lot of these events around the States.
Holy Moses.
And there's some in New York, all over. So I'm really...
Where'd you hear about this?
I heard this. I just found this on like Reddit or something.
That's bananas.
Isn't that cool?
Can you sign up to be a book?
Yeah.
Can you be like, oh my God, I went to the mall the other day and like parking was so bad.
You can sign up to be like a privileged white person. That can be your thing.
You're like, hi, yeah, my thing is I'm super boring.
Yeah.
And I forgot what I was going to say.
That could be yours. I don't know. I just thought that was really cool that, it's just a different idea. And I always love hearing people's stories. And this way you don't have to like be weird about it. You can, and steal their diary. You can just ask them and they'll tell you. What did you learn this week?
Okay, I learned, number one, I think that's awesome. I learned a couple of things and I'm trying to think which you're going to like the most. Okay. I learned that you have allergies. It's really windy in LA today. Okay, so how many Georgia Hardstarks are there?
Like one.
One, right? Of you are one organism.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, God. Did you learn how many Alie wards there are?
No. There's a couple, though. What's up, Alie Wards? One of them, we follow each other on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's weird. There's one of you sitting here, right, as an organism. There are 100 trillion things on and in you.
Oh, yeah.
100 trillion. 90% of you is made up of other shit.
Wow.
Like literal shit, because it's microbes, but like you think that you're you, but really you're 10% you and 90% like bacteria.
Isn't it weird that those things also have their own
situation?
Well, they also have their own like defecation as well, and like
Sure.
they have their own cells that are shedding off of them.
Sure.
There's just how does this work? How do we exist?
We can't exist without them. But I think it's nice that you're never alone. If you're like alone and you're like, fuck man, it's Saturday night, no one's here, it's just me. You're
No,
not
man,
alone.
it's a party.
You have 100 trillion friends that are raging so
it's
hard.
a rager at your house when you're alone.
Isn't that great?
That is great.
I don't even know if that counts all the mites that live in your eyebrows. And I know that I've talked about this before, so I'm going to tell you one more fact because I think you
Okay.
already knew that.
Okay.
Do you know why zebras have stripes?
No.
No one knew forever.
Wait. Let me think. Camouflage?
Right? You would think.
Right.
No one knew forever. They're like, I don't know. There must be a reason. It's because they get bitten by flies less if they have patterns.
What?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Neither did really anyone until like a week ago. Okay, let's ask our guest what he does.
Okay, our guest is a good friend of ours that we adore. He's freaking hilarious. He's a stand-up comedian. He's a writer. He's just a doll of a human being. He's a brunch buddy of ours, Brent Sullivan.
Hey guys.
I almost
Thank you so much for having me.
You almost what?
I almost cheersed his mic, and then I was like, no, we don't do that.
I keep almost dropping my mic in the coffee, and I had to actually move my coffee.
Don't do that.
It's like, what a dunce. Like, who does that?
I probably have. So what did you learn?
Yeah, what did you learn this week?
So, this was maybe the more challenging thing because I feel like I spend all my life on Wikipedia, and yet I learn nothing.
Yeah.
Or I read headlines of news articles and don't actually read the articles.
Yeah.
So you're kind of informed.
So before I came here, I was like literally feverishly going through my internet history to find something I had learned this week.
Porn,
and
porn,
I did.
porn.
And this, yeah, lots
eBay,
of porn,
eBay.
lots of porn. Blah, blah, blah. I did. I have to preface by saying this is an example of an article in which I read only a paragraph, but I did learn that there is a province in Canada that essentially eliminated their rat population.
The rats?
They like got rid of rats.
How?
I think it's Alberta. I don't know. That would have been entailed in the article. I'm such a piece of garbage, but Well, it was what I kept it open in my browser for like 2 days, and I'm like, fuck it.
What about? Do you think maybe they ate them all? Maybe they made them into lunch.
No, you know what they would have to do is they'd have to cut off their food supply, or they'd have to stop them from reproducing. They'd have to have some sort of underlying mechanism, like some sort of infrastructure.
Yeah. Rats are sort of like mosquitoes, where they're they do sort of contribute a lot of harm and disease and pestilence to humans, and they don't benefit even the animal kingdom that much either. Like mosquitoes, it's like almost debatable whether they have any true purpose whatsoever. Like almost, I mean, they're not even like a big part of a food chain, really.
Yeah.
Because they're so like small and insignificant. They don't really feed any other animals, so I think rats are a little bit more significant. But I think it sounds like you can like get rid of them. And
I wonder how. Well, a lot of the rats that we have are Norwegian rats that came over on boats. Just they're not native to this area.
I heard there's there's this in Texas. There's a small town that they have a snake problem. So once a year, people from all over the fucking country, let's say. Come there. Everyone gathers up snakes, as many as they can. They put them into a big circle, and then they bash them with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, have you heard that?
There was a Simpsons episode about that.
There was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Did you learn this from The Simpsons?
No, I learned this from someone who is a fascinating party conversationalist.
I have a question about that, though.
Go.
Are these pit vipers? Are they venomous, or are they just like garden snakes?
I didn't read this article.
Because I imagine to bash them with a bat, you're going to hope they don't strike you. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Well, I remember reading, or I watched some like one of these like bizarro documentaries on like Discovery Channel about how occasionally for whatever reason there can be like explosions in a population of certain animals, and like in Australia in '94 or something. What was it? Was it bunnies? It was either bunnies or rats, but they like the population was in like the hundreds of millions, and there's like footage of like thousands and thousands of rats in houses, in fields.
It's cuter when it's bunnies.
Yeah,
I want it to be
right.
bunnies.
And God, there was like some woman who was like, I knew I was fed up when I found like my son had found a dead rat and was trying to eat it.
Oh,
yes.
He was 17. Why was?
I know. It's like, what is that?
He was stoned. He was on
your son's
PCP.
just a weirdo.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can eat rats. I mean, people eat squirrels.
You can eat rats.
Sure.
They did that in the Depression, didn't they?
Oh, I
Dead
think
birds
they
and
ate
rats.
anything. Really.
Sure.
I have a question about how you digest news. So you're a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a comedian for a long time.
Sure.
You moved here from New York, correct?
Yes, that's
Wait,
right.
How long have you been in LA?
A year.
Oh,
year.
yeah.
About a
Remember
year.
we went out with him when he first got
Yeah,
here.
we had a like brunch like
Yeah.
the first week I was here.
Yeah, we had.
So that was a really fun
Hey,
Sunday.
You were a noob.
That food
Yeah,
was
you're
so
a noob.
good. Anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
Well, I'm wondering, as a comedian, do you get a lot of inspiration, like reading what happens in the news? Do you get it from social things? I wonder also, when
Yeah.
people read news, where do they get their news?
It's funny because I read CNN and I don't feel like I get much inspiration from the news. I feel like I read the news like a lot of times, because you're bored, and sometimes it's just to like anger yourself. Like sometimes, do you ever do something that you're like, I know reading about politics will piss me off, but it's like a reminder that I'm alive today.
you should-
like I want
you
to
should be a little
angry.
pissed, yeah.
You should be pissed, but also sometimes you don't have to be. Like,
Yeah.
regardless,
trigger.
regardless of what Republicans did in the House this week,
Yeah.
like my life has not changed from a
Yeah.
year ago.
Reading about the abortion, whatever, in Wisconsin is not going to help you.
But I mean, doesn't it help the greater good, because then you vote more with a more informed voice?
in California?
Well, I mean, just in general. I mean, I think it's probably good to know about the shitty things happening, because then also when good things happen, you're like, way to go, us.
Yeah, you can
I was
celebrate.
thinking about this. I was thinking about whether or not I was running yesterday, and I was like, am I disappointed in humanity ever in general?
Yeah.
I forget what I was thinking about, but there was something terrible that happened, and I was like, I'm not. I'm actually pretty inspired by humanity, disappointed by individuals here and there.
Sure.
But I think that
can't
the
have-
news helps you have perspective.
I can't have my spirit and soul crushed constantly over and over
With
again
news?
by reading a lot. Like, I like to be informed about like countries and what's going on in with Russia, but
You're
like
a history buff, so as
I'm
long
really-
as it's in the
yeah.
past, maybe you just need distance.
or like
Yeah.
or based in something that's happened in the past, like, oh well, the reason that Germany's pissed off is because of this thing that happened.
Yeah,
but
right.
people who were like, well, yeah, no, people who you could go live in Wisconsin right now if you want, but here's what they think about women. I can't deal with it.
Maybe there's something. What is it about history that is like more digestible than present? Is it just less?
Well, I do this with murder. Like whenever I read, whenever I read about like a murder that happened so long ago that the individuals involved would have been dead by now anyway, I just love it because you don't feel guilty. You're like, I'm taking pleasure. Because, when you hear about a murder, you're not taking pleasure, but you're like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I read about murder all day long.
I think I forgot that we're both obsessed.
Yes,
You guys are both
obsessed.
murder files.
I know.
Also, I love that when I want to start all my sentences with, when I think about murder. Like, that's just
But I think there's something about, like, when it's happened in the past, I think you feel less guilt. And there's also this sense, even though fundamentally it might not be true, there's a sense of like, well, we've moved beyond that.
Yeah.
We're not capable of such evil now. Or
there's
blah,
a
blah,
safety
blah, blah.
in the distance that time provides. But it's also interesting that it's like that the line between voyeur and historian is really just time based. Like you could dig into like, look at these graves and look at it, and you're like, I'm a historian.
Yeah.
But if you went to like a site and you're like, the blood's still fresh, you're a fucking creep.
Well, I think that's what I like about it, and watching all the documentaries and reading about it too, is that like, and what I always try to do is put myself in their, time is such a ridiculous thing when you see all this, like these photos of these people who died a long time ago, and you're like, that was a long time ago. But then if you try to be like, that was someone's sister, and I've gone to college too, and I just didn't get killed there, and kind of just put yourself in those people's shoes. It's really, it's like those people did not expect those things to happen to them.
Yeah, I know.
When did you guys start getting interested in murder? And also, why do you think so many people who are so funny, both of you guys are very funny,
you.
like fucking murder so much?
I don't know.
Figure it out.
I read a Ray Bradbury book.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I read a Ted Bundy book in junior high, and
Me too.
that's when I got obsessed.
It wasn't Ted Bundy. It was about American serial killers.
Right.
For some reason, I remember Dean Corll was my favorite, although I don't remember why.
Huh. Which one is he?
He's just a guy that killed a bunch of people.
Which
it
is
wasn't
your favorite
like
right
any-
now?
He's a fave.
What are you into right now?
That's a good question.
I read a lot about the Manson murders when I was a kid, but I don't know, for some reason I took a sharp turn into like, nope, I'm scared.
Yeah, the Manson murders never. I was never interested in
No.
them.
Bullshit. I hate pop culture murder.
Yeah.
I will say there was. I did. This is a story I've been telling a couple times recently because it struck me as so tragic but almost funny. There was a guy. I was watching like a Forensic Files. There was a guy who was murdered. We'll call him Tony. I forget his name. He was murdered, and obviously in investigating his murder, the police discovered that Tony had a friend who had written poetry about killing Tony.
Whoa.
Right? So obviously this friend becomes the primary suspect. This is the best part. The friend that wrote the poetry was not the one who killed Tony. It was a family member. So that means that Tony had two people in his life who were like actively thinking about killing him.
Tony was a dick.
I mean, Tony must have been, or just the most tragic bastard. I mean, like, what a sad guy.
What was
wanna
the poetry about?
I know. I want to know more about the guy who writes poetry about wanting to kill people.
Was it like his Trans Am's so fresh?
Yeah.
Was it like envy based, or was it like Tony fucked all of my girlfriends? I don't know.
Forensic Files kind of glosses over those intimate details.
Yeah, I was watching on Friday night. I had a rock and roll night by myself with all my microbes.
Yeah.
And I was watching the show Disappeared on Discovery ID.
Disappeared is the best.
Unbelievable. It's all on Netflix. All of them are on Netflix.
Yes, I go to sleep to I literally go to sleep to Disappeared.
I started
worry
looking
about
up some
you.
back stuff. I did the whole like what happened to them next, and like went on Wikipedia and stuff. And there's so many stuff that they're like, you read the message boards and you're like, well, the mom was saying that the son was like a great kid and everything was fine, but really these are the real things that happen. And so people just they don't really.
Yeah, you still have to make I mean, the show is ultimately necessarily not about finding the person. It's about entertaining us for an hour.
You
so
guys.
you have to gloss over details that you might suggest. Oh, this person clearly ran away.
Right.
Disappeared isn't always about murder, by the way. Sometimes people just like actually.
And you never find out what
Leave
happens to them.
Oy vey.
And that's not true. No.
Oh, really?
Frequently, if you actually especially if you go to like for season
Oh, I mean
1
on the
through
show.
3, yeah, if you
Okay.
Google them and it's like 3 years old, half the time you can like find updates.
Oh, a friend requested a murderer once. on
Really?
purpose. But I was in Thailand and I had air conditioning in this hotel room, which was like I was not leaving because it was like finally the one hotel room that had
Yeah,
air
that makes sense. You go to Thailand
Yeah.
to stay in your hotel room
Yeah, it was raining.
to
It's
appreciate
fine.
air conditioning.
And I was watching this murder show. Georgia, you would have loved it. And it was disgusting and horrifying. And it was like a couple, anyway, killed someone else. And the guy got convicted, but the girl got
Was it her
free.
sister?
I don't remember.
Was she in Canada?
I don't think so because they buried her in a desert. But anyway, there was blood everywhere. They were big idiots about
Okay,
it, but
got
she
it.
got off. And I was like, so she's just off. And I was like, I wonder if she's just like going rollerblading and stuff. So I looked her up on Facebook and she had like 600 friends. So she could have reasonably added me. And I was like, should I add this murderer lady and just see what her life was like? I don't think I did.
Should we do you want a slumber party question?
Sure.
Yeah,
Since we're talking about dead people, should we ask Brent if he has any ghost stories
Oh,
or alien stories?
You know, I don't. And I always say that I wish I did. Like, I remember when I was a kid being terrified of ghosts.
Yeah.
And like, I just am such a fervent non-believer now that it's like, I wish I had that again. It's like, it was fun.
When did you
looking
stop
back.
believing in spirits?
You know, I don't know. Like, my parents were, you know, very, very, this doesn't exist. So I think that just, like, kind of hit home. I also remember one time, my brother cut through the lot. I was upstairs. My brother was babysitting. I was upstairs, and I was afraid. We were in like a new house, and I was afraid something was gonna like happen to us, like someone was gonna break in or someone had broken in. And I
How old
remember
were you?
like this is 6th grade.
Okay.
a little late. But I remember going downstairs and like telling him I was afraid, and he's like, if someone had broken in, they would have killed us by now.
Oh.
And I remember even as a 6th grader being like, that's actually pretty good logic. It doesn't make sense that you would hide from us, from a 6th grader, and then kill me right, you know,
Were
at
there
like
any
10:30.
Were there deaths like any of like big? Well, I was just going to say that, but you're from Michigan, and that's where the Michigan murders
That's
happen.
where everyone dies, right?
That's like the biggest.
Where in Michigan are you from?
I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, so you're from a
That's
you're
where
from
the
a college
Michigan
town.
murders
You're from
happen.
a scholastic community.
I'm from a very scholastic community.
Were your parents professors?
Ken Burns is from Ann Arbor.
Love Ken
Burns
Burns.
lived there.
Love him.
The Ken Burns effect is just everyone in town is smart.
Literally everyone in Ann Arbor, not everyone, but like half the town talks like Ken Burns. Everyone's very soft-spoken and very politically correct. And they're all kind of gay. No,
wanna
my
go
parents
there.
didn't. My dad worked for the university for like a couple years, but he's mostly a Ford guy and now works for the government. But
Ooh.
I became obsessed with Heaven's Gate. Recently.
That's a good one.
So I did
But
too.
it all spiraled because I found a picture of someone who, you know, tragically was involved. Although I shouldn't say tragically per se because it was
Intentional.
an intentional decision.
For those who were
one could
who were
argue
born in-
intentional. Maybe someone
Born in the
disagree.
90s. Tell everyone what that was. Heaven's Gate.
Oh,
was.
Heaven's Gate was a cult that was essentially started in like the 60s and cultivated over several decades and culminated in a mass suicide, and I think it was 1994 in San Diego.
They were
where
waiting to get on that sweet
40
hail bop express to a
Right.
different planet. There was
40,
a comet
42
they thought.
people, killed themselves, and
How peacefully though.
Is that the Nike? Is it the Nike
Yeah.
killers?
They took pictures and they were all in beds.
they all put on the same tennis shoes, and they put I think $7 in their pockets.
Really?
And, yep.
I didn't know that. part.
And
They were covered in a
but
nice shroud.
It all spiraled because I found a picture of one of the victims, and he was super hot. Like when like his senior picture, he was like shockingly good looking. So I'm like, I got to learn more about this. But wait, what were we gonna say about Michigan?
I was going to ask you, coming from a collegiate town, if that informed also your career decisions in comedy. But we can keep talking about.
Yeah, right.
hot
I was gonna say we're
Heaven's
shifting from
Gators.
murder now. Excuse me.
I was asking what.
How dare you?
George is like, when you kill at a show,
Yeah.
if you were just
Kill
killing
it.
it.
You know, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think Ann Arbor's a really great town, and I loved growing up there. You know, I think you could probably have the experience that I had in Ann Arbor anywhere in the country. My parents listen a lot to NPR, and I still sort of have that. But I don't think that necessarily means
That's not everywhere
why
in the
I
country.
became.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Have you been in Nevada? Because that's not everywhere.
I was
you
going
mean
to
Diane
ask
Rehm
you.
doesn't reach the?
I was going to ask you
fresh
if
air.
there were any, I really loved hearing about people's town murders when they were growing
Yeah.
up, or town deaths. Like Alie has the coolest one in the fucking world. The
Yeah.
cheerleader.
Are you talking about murder
cheerleaders-
again, Georgia?
Yes, I thought that's what we were talking about for this whole episode.
What happened, George? For a while, you were off death shows,
know.
and like your boyfriend was like, "No, this isn't." You get depressed, and you're like, "You're right, I do get
Yeah,
depressed."
your boyfriend doesn't love those things.
No.
and then
He
you
just likes
got
wrestling, so I think we're both allowed to have our obsessions.
you slipped back. You
I
slipped.
did.
You kind of fell off the wagon
I did.
straight back into a pile of blood-soaked rags,
I
and I'm like,
know.
"What happened here? What's going on?"
Nothing. I love it.
Does it
Well,
make
it's
you
just,
happy?
It's just like it's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But there's something about like how you kind of, I feel like you kind of want to tease that a little bit. Like you want to know what it's like. You don't want to experience it, but you still want to know what it's like. Like, did you ever watch Melancholia? It's this movie where the world ends,
heard it.
and these
Beautiful.
the two planets. I love that film, but the two planets collide, and like you watch that, and you're like, I kind of want to know what that's like.
Yeah,
I don't
how
want
would I
the
react?
world to end, but like, what does it feel? I mean, of course you wouldn't feel anything, but like, what would it feel like if? And it's the most disturbing thought in the world, but like.
I think it's
sort of a
also-
moral
You wanna
Prepare. Well, that's
fascination.
also. I mean, that's what dreams are. Anxiety dreams are preparation for that event. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of almost like getting onto like a wheel of anxiety.
After,
like,
sorry, I'm blabbing, but after my
that's what you're
yeah,
here
I guess
for.
that's sort of the point. After the Heaven's Gate obsession, I really spent like a week reading a lot. I had one of the most vivid, disturbing dreams of my life, which is they put a bunch of a bunch of drugs in pudding.
yeah, or
And I think
applesauce or
applesauce
something?
and pudding. And I had a dream that I did that, and then, obviously you don't die immediately. You have about 5 minutes. Same thing in Jonestown, where you have a couple minutes to process.
Wow.
And I remember it was just the most vivid. I'm fortunate. I'm just not like a particularly suicidal person. And I think fortunately, but it was just like so disturbing to think, what would that be like to take that bite? It's really too late to do anything, and you're like, well, maybe
You've
not.
gotta think, especially because it's not like if someone who's so despondent that they throw themselves off a bridge. It's like
Right.
these are people who are like, this is going to be the are you ever like, wow, my reasoning was way off and I shouldn't have believed this thing. It's
sure
not
there's
even
a
like
panic.
because you're not. I don't think those people were technically suicidal.
Right.
No, they were aspirational. They were like
Yeah.
piecing out. They were like getting the check.
So what percentage of them were like, whoa, this went too farther than I thought it would?
That's actually a good point. Probably very few, because I think they really did truly believe.
I don't
They were
know. I feel like
Yeah.
Jonestown. I know. I watched a lot about Jonestown. I read a lot, is
Yes.
that a lot of the people had to be chased down. They were forced to. There's a recording of
The whole thing.
Brent Jones just trying to calm his wife down because she's suddenly like, "What are we doing?"
I think psychologists call that the "fuck that" effect, where they're like, "Ah, shit, man."
That's their fuck that.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I did that wrong."
Yeah.
You know when you're ever in the middle of something when you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Like that
Yeah.
happens so often.
Oh.
I'm sure it's one of life's biggest regrets.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, don't join a cult.
Don't try to call.
Here's how
Yeah.
you fix that, you guys. Try not to join a cult. But who knows what's a cult? Sometimes
Yeah. Do people
don't
always
even-
recognize that they're joining a cult?
I'm always like, whenever there's a group of people that seem to be happy, whether it's like a yoga studio or whatever, I'm
Yeah,
like,
happy
is this a
people
cult?
yeah, it's like, this is a little strange.
You're
Why
all
are you so
universally
happy?
pretty okay right now. Like, there's got to be at least a couple of sour
Right.
ones in the bunch, but nope,
Right.
everyone's pretty okay. You're like, okay, something's up.
I know.
You're all lying.
What is the murder from your hometown?
Oh, I went to high school in this place called Orinda, which is near Berkeley, and they had a Latin program.
Berkeley, Nebraska. Yeah, I've been there.
Berkeley,
Yeah.
Nebraska.
beautiful town.
Very lots
It's
of
like
NPR.
3 hours from Lincoln. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
only
they have a
tumbleweeds.
great cosmetology school that my passion was nails in high school, so I spent actually 6 years.
Can you imagine if your passion was nails?
Well, to each their own, but if it was my passion, I wouldn't be doing this podcast.
How do you
I
feel
think
about
that's it.
nail art? Can we talk about that?
I have a friend who does. We have a friend who does fantastic nail art. That's
badass.
very,
Who does
very cool.
who does nail art?
It's Glennis McCarthy. She's in the musical 50 Shades of Grey, the farcical
I have a
musical.
lot of thoughts right now.
And she does like crazy awesome nail art. What's
Yeah.
her Instagram?
I don't know.
It's like I'll find out.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Sorry.
badass.
But
But I
does-
know how you feel about it.
I have
She will fight you, FYI.
with her. She'll probably have much stronger nails. I have a big thing about nail art.
Yeah.
I just feel
She
like
loves it.
I feel like it's a really weird allocation of time and funds. I don't.
Well, I think art, creative expression.
Sure.
You know when people do those sometimes people will do those like sand art things,
Mm-hmm.
like really elaborate that are beautiful, but then they're just like they're
But
gone
they're
in like a
ephemeral,
day.
yeah.
Right. And it's like, why are you doing that? But to each their own, I guess.
I also have a weird thing about if you've got those crazy dagger nails, like what's under there? You know what I mean? Do you know how much Cheeto dust collects under shit like that?
God, a lot of garbage.
I know.
A lot of garbage.
Did you want to hear about this murder, or can we
Yes,
get off
I
that
do.
topic?
No, we can get off it if you want.
I'll sum it really quick.
Sure.
I lived in this town. There were sororities at my high school, and one cheerleader got stabbed by a less popular girl. Then Tori Spelling was in a movie about it. Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was goth because I was like, fuck all of you people. So I had like a very small group of very goth people.
Wow, that's
because it was so intensely blonde there.
Yeah.
That I still can't see like a Jetta without getting a little shivery,
like just shaking
a little bit. But anyways, that's my murder. But
Yeah.
they found the chick, and she's on the
Is she in jail?
I think she is, but there's a Wikipedia page for our high school, and it has notable alumni. And
Sure, she made it.
she
the
made
cut?
it, and under high school murderess. I didn't make it. I have 2 television shows. Didn't make it on a notable, but you know who did? Some lacrosse guy and an officer who was involved in the Fajita Gate scandal. I don't even know what that is.
What is that?
I don't know.
It's so irritating.
I remember that.
I know. Georgia, you need to check your high school's alumni. Do you think that you're on your high school's notable alumni page?
I don't think
you
I
were
am.
just on the Pete Holmes show yesterday. How did
I
tell
don't
us
think
about
that
that.
makes the cut.
What? You're a famous comedian.
Excuse me, Ken Burns went to my high school.
Well,
guys.
but there's more. There's
We
room for
have
more than one of you.
Bob Seger, an astronaut.
You need to get on this page. If anyone's listening to this, Brent.
Campaign for Brent Sullivan.
Yeah, that's actually not. It is sort of my dream to one day have a Wikipedia page that was not written by me. It's not particularly lofty, so I do think it is conceivable one day it will happen.
Do you want me to write yours? Some guy I
No,
went to
I
high
don't,
school
'cause
with
that's
wrote mine.
cheating.
Why don't you just copy
Really?
and paste your like match profile in there?
Yeah.
My OkCupid profile.
Your
Just your whole
Excuse
Wikipedia is
me.
like, I'm a
Okay,
laid back
see?
guy that likes hiking and brunches.
Are you on dating sites?
I'm on OKC and I'm on Jacked periodically.
What's
Jacked is a
Jacked?
hookup app that I also use for dates. It is a nightmare, but it's fun. I've met a lot of people. I don't. Some people will use it for just like come to my apartment.
Whoa.
Which I think back to the theme of the show. I think everyone wants to murder
Oh,
me,
they're
so
gonna murder the shit out of you.
So I would never do that. But I've gone on a lot of fun and shitty dates from that, so that's fun.
Why don't there?
And OkCupid's fine too.
Some people are just desperate for cuddles.
Yeah, I feel like it's you start these profiles and you're super popular for a month because you're the new guy, and then it kind of fade, and then it's average for a month, and then you're like, I know everyone's face.
Like if you haven't met someone in the first month of it.
What's your type?
Short and fit. Actually, I can be very specific about that.
Fit.
I like
how
guys.
short?
I really like guys that are shorter than me. I don't think I've ever gone on a date with anyone above 6 feet. 6 foot.
Do you know that it's the opposite on girls' dating sites?
Yes.
They're all like 6 foot or don't contact
I'm
me.
well aware of
Isn't that
that.
weird? Who told you that?
Oh,
Every girl.
observation.
All your fake
almost
profiles?
every girl. I mean, obviously, if you're a shorter man, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, almost every girlfriend of mine prefers taller men.
Huh.
Although I have one friend who loves taller men, but she has dated shorter guys once or twice. To give hope to those out there.
Out there, dudes.
But yeah, and I'm into most. In fact, I should say every race.
Do they have to be
I no
funny?
racial preference.
Your-
in fact, I don't want them upstaging me.
Got it. They have to laugh at your shit though.
Yeah, and that almost never. I just feel like I meet
What?
so many duds.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, okay. So what's a bad date for you? Was it boring or is the guy crazy? Because it's
I did
a crazy date
for a
sometimes not as
while.
bad
I
as
had
a boring.
I have a history of dating men in which English is their third to fourth language. So I've gone on a lot of dates in which there's. I mean, at that point, the language barrier is impeding any like true communication, and like humor is like kind of lost at that
Yeah.
point.
But they're so tan.
Yes, it can be very nice. But I have tons of issues with intimacy, so I think that was a part of it, and I'm kind of easing out of that now.
That would make sense for someone who.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's like
Perfect.
an actual
for someone
barrier.
who doesn't want to get to know anyone,
Yeah.
or make eye contact while naked, then yes, it is perfect to date someone who does not or barely speaks English.
Cool. Good to know.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like most dates I go on, it's just me asking questions and them answering them as if they're the most interesting person in the world.
Alie, you do that too.
Yeah. I end up interviewing people.
I interview people, and I will accept that I am, I think, aggressive in conversation when I first meet someone. So it doesn't have to be, it's not like they have to take control and it must become 50-50 or I'll never see him again. But like, sometimes you meet someone and like, there's almost nothing but and you. It's like, it's not hard to be like, well, let's shift topics for a second. Like,
Totally.
I don't know. It also just, to me, it shows a lack of intellectual curiosity if someone isn't able to like have
anything other than
one
themselves.
good question in an hour.
That does drive me
dude.
crazy when you ask any kind of question to someone and they don't reciprocate in some kind. It doesn't have to be the same question. Like, well, how was your day? Just something like, did you see any cute dogs today? Like, just some kind of response.
Yep.
That
That's a great
acknowledges
question.
that you're both part of this world.
All dates should start with that question.
What? Did you see any cute dogs today?
I'm looking at a fine bitch now.
I did
That's
read.
the right
I did
answer.
read about like an article online about healthy relationships, and the best thing is not asking questions, but asking smart questions. Like, instead of "How was your day," which like anyone's going to be like, "Fine." Like, did you have any moments of like pure joy today? Like weird, specific hippie questions.
Yeah, hippie questions can be a little
Have you heard of the
weird.
the 1 and 1 and 1? Or there's something, I forget what it's called, but my I had a boyfriend whose family did this at dinner. It would be like one awesome thing that happened, one thing that sucked, and one awesome thing.
I
So
like
you
that.
like start it, and so the family would go around, and it would be funny to see like his brothers and sisters be like, "Oh, I don't know, I played a video game. One thing that sucked, I lost. One thing that's cool.
Can
I
we do
played
that
it, I
for on
won."
the podcast?
We kind of do that with fuck that though.
That's true. I
mean,
love
Yeah.
1 and 1 and 1. That
Isn't that
shows
cute?
that parents care about them.
I know.
Those little shitheads.
I thought it was
Someday.
cute. Did your family sit around and eat dinner?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Yours did? You're
Yeah.
so lucky.
Every single dinner.
Every single
like
dinner.
you needed like a permission slip signed by both my parents to get out of
Yeah.
dinner.
That's
I had a brother,
amazing.
and it was just my brother and I.
Do you
know,
appreciate
is.
it now?
Absolutely. I think if I was going to have a family, God forbid, it would be one TV,
Yes.
and dinner all together. That would be, I guess, my only like real rules.
Who cooked?
My mom.
Is she a
cooked.
good cook?
Yes, absolutely. We also ate vegetarian half the time.
Weird.
Which was for
Progressive for the 90s.
Yeah,
you were a kid in the
Yeah.
90s.
pretty good. Yeah,
Well, it's
for
Ann
the
Arbor.
90s. Well,
My
we tease her a
mom-
lot because we didn't always love the vegetarian dishes.
God.
I mean, there were lots of good ones, but like vegetarian lasagna and stuff.
Sure.
And that,
Well,
that
teenage
sort of
boys are Vikings. Like,
Yeah.
you run through meat like a
Well,
thresher.
now though, I honestly, it's great. Like it's sort of, and I have a couple of friends who are like militant vegans, but I started eating vegetarian lunches almost exclusively. And it's great. Like, eggs are so good.
Yeah.
I don't know why it took me like 30 years to realize that, but I'm
How
like,
do you
these
make
are
your
really
eggs?
Yeah. Do
over easy
Good. That's
or
fun.
scrambled occasionally, but over easy is the best.
you know how to boil eggs?
You drop them in water, right?
Yep.
Wait, the hard boil or?
Yeah.
No, I am a grown woman with a cooking show, and I boil my eggs wrong every time. Not because I don't know the process,
Yeah.
but I just space out. I do something else.
It
and then
takes
I'm
a lot
like,
of steps.
Oh, shit.
I gotta say, there are a lot of steps, and there's no way to fucking check and see if you're doing it right because
Yeah.
they're in a thing.
'Cause they're
Do you know
in
you
a
can
shell.
bake and get hard baked eggs? You can
Really?
bake them in the shell.
I'll do that.
Yes, I did.
do that.
I did.
I have a
fun.
And
question.
isn't that great? Aren't they great? Are they,
They
still
are.
runny, right?
No, well,
Oh.
it depends on how long you can bake them for, but yeah.
So what's the difference between hard baked and hard boiled then?
Just nothing. They can be
Okay.
the same.
Oh,
That you just depends on the amount of time you cook them for.
Does
Oh,
one
okay.
smell less like farts?
The baked ones smell
If
less
you-
like farts because there's not the boiling.
If you hard
water.
boil for half the time, is it like somewhat cooked but still runny?
Yeah.
Like
I have a question though. Is this a slumber party question? We ask
Sure.
all
Yeah,
of our
let's
guests.
hear it. Oh, this is a good one.
Midnight snacks.
Wait, before you tell us, I saw you do comedy stand up last night at your awesome
oh
show.
yeah, that's right.
It's what's it
Thank
called?
you. Church,
Church.
at the Church on York in Highland Park.
Yeah, if you live in
In
Highland
LA.
Park, this monthly show.
Biweekly.
Los Angeles.
Fuck, I'm sorry.
No, no
Getting
worries.
everything wrong. Tell the
know you
Oreo
were
cookie
bi-weekly.
story.
Well, yeah, it was. I woke up in the middle of the night. This is actually a couple of years ago, but I woke up in the middle of the night and I went to the bathroom, but I was very hungry. So on the way back, I put 4 Oreos in my mouth, and then I fell asleep on my back before I finished chewing. And the reason I know, because people are like, "Well, how do you remember doing this?" It's because I woke up around 4 seconds later, choking to death.
No.
Yeah.
Friend.
Love that.
But I was fine, obviously.
So what's your midnight snack? Like nobody knows your pants are up.
It used to be Oreos, but I've sort of like phased out of desserts because I'm watching my figure.
It looks like I'm watching it too. It's amazing.
Oh, barf! As I
Hey.
point to my waist. It's fine. No, it's
He's
fine.
tiny.
But this is the problem. I don't have a lot of money, so I always buy meals. I go to Trader Joe's. I buy. This is a dinner. I have dinner for tonight. I have paid for dinner, but I don't buy a lot of snacks. So I rarely have snacks around, and that's when it's at 10 o'clock. You're like, I don't want to make another dinner
know.
for fuck's
Well, that's
sake.
when
but
the
I
fun,
don't-
innovation, weird shit comes into play.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what was Megan Gans, good friend of yours? Hers
Also
was
podcast
something
guest.
really funny. What was it again?
I actually remember what she did in college.
What would she do?
Sun chips and cottage cheese.
Oh,
Gross.
dang.
I actually thought it was a little gross. It's pretty good.
I'm sure it's good.
My first thing is like, there's so much gluten in that. What was she thinking? She's
yeah,
gluten-free.
she's
I do
gluten-free.
know that. I know her. So hers, I forget, but we had Joy the Baker. This is one of your favorites. Is how she just would plow through a whole sleeve of saltines.
What'd she
just
dip?
like
she would dip them
Crackers.
in
I
jam.
get stone wheat crackers.
But like, no one's looking. No one's judging you.
You can dip it
Yeah.
in anything
It's
you want.
11:40 at night.
Oh, I'm well. I mean, it's
What's it
not
gonna
like I
be?
think someone's watching me, or that God would be angry if I had certain.
Smote
I
you.
do have. I've just gotten into trail mix. Trader Joe's makes really good trail mix, and there's one that they have like, it's nuts and fried and dried fruits, which you're like, oh, that's healthy enough, and then
Yeah.
they have like 5 different types of chips. Like
Oh,
yogurt chips,
yes.
and chocolate, and butterscotch.
I think there's like
three
an
different
angel
types.
on the cover.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
god.
Oh,
it's
I've
like
seen
godly.
It's really
you know why?
good.
They have to put that there to try and redeem the fact that it is candy. Like they're like, no, it's
it is
godly.
candy, but I mean, aren't nuts
It's so
good for you though?
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, I love the question of what's good for
Fruit.
you because if you,
Right.
I mean, there was a point in my life where I ate just handfuls of cashews and I got very fat, and it's just like, sure, they're good for you. Don't eat handfuls.
Yeah,
But no.
nuts are super high.
I know they're so good though. But I know that trail
calories.
mix. That's a trail mix that if you leave it in your car, it turns into a candy bar.
Really? Yeah, that sounds so good.
It's just like bark. It's like bark that hasn't been barked
Yeah.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like trail mix. And if it's in all these tiny pieces, you're like, that's cool. I'm hitting the trail.
Yeah.
But as soon as you leave that shit in your glove compartment and you take it out and it's a Snickers, you're
Yeah.
like, I'm doing something very different with my
Sure.
life.
The other go-to snack is cheese.
Oh, fuck yeah, cheese.
cheddar,
Cheese.
and nothing fancy. I don't need a fucking camembert or anything. I want cheddar, number one. Mozzarella, Swiss is great.
I love
Brie,
Swiss.
I'll go Brie.
Can we talk about Havarti?
Munster, that's it.
Havarti.
Yeah, Havarti isn't my favorite.
Overlooked,
I'm going to be
but
honest.
not
If you ever have extra Havarti, you ring me up because I can seriously.
My roommate has
destroy.
Havarti in the fridge right now.
I'm like a locust
Go
with
get it.
that. I just,
Really?
I destroy.
Why
blocks
Havarti?
of
It feels
them.
so bland to
I
me.
love it. It's gummy. It's fucking weird. I love it.
You know what I am like a hound for toast. Like toast is my favorite thing. in the
Sure.
world. So I just finally caved and bought almond butter because it's so freaking expensive.
No, $7.
And I've been doing wheat toast with almond butter and jam, and then raspberry jam on top of that. And I want to cry every time I eat it.
Actually, I will tell you my favorite vegetarian recipe my mom ever made was
Yeah.
actually a lunch recipe, and it was called Swissy spread, and it was. It sounds really gross, but I swear to God, it is the greatest thing I've ever had. It was cottage cheese, Swiss cheese, a little bit of mayonnaise and dill.
What?
And you put that
Weird.
on. It's super
Wait,
weird.
Is it blended?
Yeah, it's all mixed together.
Okay.
Wait, with
put
the
that on
Swiss
bread.
cheese is blended?
Yeah,
Like
you
shredded?
Yeah, shredded.
Okay.
shredded.
Okay.
Finally shredded.
So wait, mayo,
Mayo,
cottage cheese,
Swiss
Dill.
shredded dill, and the original recipe calls for green pepper. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is
like everything else makes sense.
so delicious.
Wow,
It is.
no.
It is easily one of my favorite lunches
Do you
ever.
toast it
I
on a
would
piece
never-
of bread?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you put it in the oven for like 10 minutes.
See, in my mind, and it's always been this way since I was a kid, is cottage cheese is a sweet vehicle.
Nope.
Yes.
With bananas and honey since I was a kid.
That's
Sure.
So I can't,
Put it with a jam.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
A jam, a little honey, I love it. I can't get to the place where it is a savory.
Do you want to know what
item.
happens in the Ward house?
What?
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, the Ward
Ketchup?
cooking.
If you put ketchup on cottage cheese, I'm going to fucking...
God.
Nope, worse. Here's the deal for people who haven't been listening. My family eats some whack shit.
Allie's mom, love you, Nancy.
Whoa.
Terrible cook.
Whoa,
Terrible
bad.
cook.
Whoa, bad. We grew up very skinny kids.
I get photos. I love when Allie goes home because I get photos of her mom's food.
My parents don't understand the concept of plastic wrap, so there's just these dishes of gravy in the refrigerator uncovered that look like a cracked.
Oh, I do that because I hate wasting plastic.
I actually hate
I'll cover it
plastic wrap,
sometimes,
though.
but I do that too. I leave out soup and shit.
No, it does. It looks like a dried playa. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
Anyway, but my parents, my family, dip in my house is a bowl of cottage cheese with a can of clams with the juice.
Oh wow.
And that's it.
That is a little gross.
There's no salt. There's no pepper. There's
do you
no
dip
onion
with it?
It's just clams and
Wow.
cottage cheese. You dip the greasiest, thinnest potato chips that break when it's half
In it.
and
Oh,
so
wait, by
your
the way.
fingers are also in it. But it's so good. I eat it when I go up there every time there's clam dip,
wow.
and I blow through
Sorry,
it.
sidetrack. I parked in the street. I'm good, right?
Yeah, you're fine.
Side? Yeah, you're fine.
this side. Okay, sorry.
fine.
I forgot to ask. I would have been towed by now, but it
You're
was
fine
really
until-
critically important.
Tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Okay, I have one more. I have another question since it's slumber party.
I can't wait.
Sure.
Okay,
Just one more time. Cottage cheese and clams.
I'm gonna make it for you. I'm
Okay.
gonna
That
make
is,
it for
that
you.
is actually hilarious.
I'm gonna make it
That's
for you. You're gonna love
insanity.
it. Okay, so since you're a man, you like mans.
Barely. I'm
Well,
just kidding.
do you have any man grooming tips?
Yeah.
Any like DIY beauty things? We talked earlier before we started rolling about how you're like moisturizer is for certain times. You're like you don't want to.
Yeah, I just have I have sort of oilier skin, so I don't like to use moisturizer because I think I glisten.
Any
I was
gripes from
saying-
dudes? Any gripes about dude
Yeah.
groomage? Any tips? Gripes?
Honestly, I'm not super. I mean, I guess when you say that, I think the natural response is just groom,
Wash your
the
baby.
I
pubes,
gotta say,
you know?
you've got
Isn't
your
that the only thing really critically important? Not critically for everyone, but at least for
the eyebrow.
I have bushier eyebrows, and I don't sculpt them, but I do get rid of like the stray hairs.
yeah, they look
I
good.
don't even do
Your
that.
hair situation's working for you.
Can I
thank
tell you
you.
guys a note that I wrote myself once?
Yes.
That I found a year and a half later. I was a note that I wrote in like one of those dark nights when you're like, "Come on, Allie, get it together. Come on, Ward." And at the
dear.
very end of it was like, it was one of those things where it's like, "Come on, there's stuff you want to do."
Here's what Sarah happy about. You have this going on.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
going-
It was
I've
probably
written
in the
those.
middle of a breakup.
Sure.
The very end, the very last line was, and I had to like search my brain for what this was a reference to. Is you have so much dick under that muff, and it was
What is that?
it was a conversation that I'd had with a boyfriend who wasn't a trimmer, and we were talking about how all men should trim because there's so much more dick under that muff. And it's like
True.
you're even more than you realize.
That is a great motto.
But
That
There's
is a
so much
really
dick.
good
There's so
motto.
much dick under that
in that
muff.
muff. Oh my god!
That is great.
Wow.
You've got.
I feel like we're
You just
teaching
have
our
to
listeners
trim
so
the
much.
excess pube.
You just got to get rid
Yeah.
of the garbage.
Get rid of the garbage.
You don't even know. Okay, how about your perfect day? Let's say that you could design your perfect day, morning to night. What city are you in? What do you wake up? Who's there? What are you
Sure.
eating? What are you wearing?
Okay. My perfect. I'm very solitary, so my perfect day would probably. I would probably wake up and spend most of it alone.
Cool.
I'm
not there.
I like these days. I like to get up. If it's a weekday, I like to get up between 7:30 and 8. I'm like an
Jeez.
adult.
How do you
love it.
do that?
You go to bed early, right?
12.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Good for you.
And yeah, so I would probably get lunch. Would walk around New York. I'd be maybe Brooklyn or New York.
What would you eat?
Are we getting specific here?
Sure. Yeah.
I love artichoke, which is artichoke dip pizza in New York, in Manhattan. That place was absolutely
Oh, that's
perfect.
Vince's favorite too.
Yeah. It's almost everyone's favorite
Oh, really?
if they've been there.
Artichoke pizza. Good to know.
It is just the best.
GTK.
So I would have that. I would walk. I would take the best day of my life.
You're either going to say Vicodin or vitamin.
Yep.
And I'm really curious.
Yep, the best day of my life. I'd just been laid off from my job. I went on unemployment. I took a Vicodin, and then I walked around the Met for like 5 hours.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
It was so fucking cool.
What did the
It was
Vicodin add
so
to
nice.
that? As someone who doesn't
Just
take Vicodin.
in ease, an inner calm that your brain is always saying, well, I should be being productive. I should do something else. I should contribute to the world's economy by
buying artichoke pizza?
by doing something, and so I think that put that aside.
It doesn't make you tired?
Yeah, it does, but
okay.
you can power through it.
Crazy.
Does it make you blow drug dealers and behind strip clubs for it later? In your life?
Not in my experience.
always feel like
I
as
didn't meet
soon
many
as-
at the Met that day, but I'm sure I could have. if
The
I
only people
wanted
I know
to.
that have ever taken Vicodin either had oral surgery or they were addicted to it to the point where they were literal
Yeah.
hookers.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's good to know that if you just took one and walked around the Met, your whole life is
Oh
back.
my God!
Like, you're
You
doing
can
something smart.
Absolutely take one once in a while.
You're
without
doing
getting
something
hooked.
smart.
Don't do it, listeners, but it's
Yes.
interesting that there are gray areas.
I have a note in my notebook that we wanted to talk about something that you wanted to talk about.
We had
And
a couple notes.
This could be added to your day that you tell us about cereal restaurants.
Well, this is interesting. I was just thinking this recently. How I feel like there's just been this explosion in restaurants like the last 20, 25 years where all these different cultures and gastronomy and all the types of restaurants and the amount of money that Americans spend going out to eat is like increased so much. And yet I feel like there still aren't restaurants that serve fancy cereals. And because I think cereal's so delicious.
Word.
And there has to be some chef somewhere that makes a bunch of I don't mean like a good granola. I mean like really cool, bizarre shit that you wouldn't think like any appetizer you would get. Like I wouldn't think that rabbit terrine would be great, but it is when I get it at a fancy
I wonder
place.
how hard cereal is to make.
It could be very I don't know.
Well, there was
It might
like
have to be mass produced or
That's true.
something.
There was those places that were
that
like,
sounds
you know,
good.
they do-it-yourself yogurt place where you get a bowl of cereal and you can get any kind of combination and any kind of milk you want.
Yeah.
But I don't think those lasted.
And I don't
what if
think
there's
so
like a
either.
like a lemon rosemary cereal that you're like, what is this combination?
Yeah. That sounds
Exactly.
good.
I mean, see, I'm angry it doesn't exist. That
Not
sounds
yet.
so good.
Doesn't
Why
exist.
don't you make that?
Well,
We'll back you financially.
First things first. I make about $6,000 a year, so I don't have
So you get
the
free
financial.
Okay.
No, it's actually true. I do.
Do you? You bitch.
I literally qualify for health. I should say last year, not this year, but last year I qualified for health care. That was for like homeless people and me.
So you can get all kinds of like diabetes and alcoholism and scabies and
I would.
outdoor conditions.
I would go to the doctor's office, and I would visit the doctor, and like they would kind of go through this questionnaire, and they'd always be like, "And do you need a shower today?" I'm like, nope.
Oh, that happened when I go
I'm
to Planned
good.
Parenthood. They're like, "How many pregnancies have you had?" And I'm like, "None." And
Knock
they're like,
on wood.
"Oh, really?" So surprised.
Are you sure it's
Yeah.
zero?
Zero?
Did you leave the one off of this zero that you've written down?
Should we do another question? Should we do fuck
Should we do
that?
fuck that?
Let's do fuck that.
Sure.
Okay, so your perfect day would involve cereal.
Yeah, good bowl of grape nuts, maybe with some fresh peaches on top. Take a Vicodin, go to the Met.
Almond milk?
Artichoke for lunch. No, half and half. Always on my cereal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Into it?
Go out to dinner with a friend, and then get shit faced and stumble to a bar somewhere.
You miss New York, don't you?
I do. You can tell I do. I like LA.
There was no like, and then Uber home.
Yeah.
No, there was none of that.
Stay out till 4 a.m.
Have some skinny girl and play to crudite and then take an Uber back and work on my script.
Yeah.
Welcome to Los Angeles. Let's do fuck that. Okay,
Okay.
so fuck that's a segment where one thing that you love so
fuck that.
much.
just kidding.
Don't if your fuck that is our segment,
Sorry.
then I would slow bone your gall.
Should we start? One thing you love so much you want to fuck. One
Yeah,
thing
you
you
would-
hate so much you're like fuck that. Should we start with one thing we hate?
Yeah, let's start with the thing we hate.
How about Alie? You
Oh,
go.
I got a lot of. Today I
lot
got
of
real worked up.
angry.
Guys. I
Yeah.
got real worked up.
Okay.
Fucking calendars. Ugh.
Yeah, you're having an
Calendars?
itch.
I'm having an issue right now with not with time management, but with calendar management. I have an analog calendar. I write shit down in a ballpoint pen. Sometimes I forget to write it down. Sometimes I don't. I need to go digital, but I don't like any digital programs, and I like the layout of
Yeah.
an analog, and I'm just stuck. And today I wrote down an appointment that I had on Friday, and I wrote down in my calendar Friday on the day of Friday, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't live like this.
Well, what if
I just need a good calendar app, and I need to get the fuck used to it. 'cause
someone
I'm
needs
living
to
in the
tell
Dark Ages.
someone needs to tell Alie their favorite calendar app, or you need to. I'm still using my analog. We could just keep doing it and get over it.
No, I don't think it's good.
Okay.
I think we're going to lose track of things.
We haven't yet.
Well-
what I'm hating about it, the thing that I want to fuck that is I hate that I'm not confident in either system.
I was going to say, I mean, the mistake that you describe could easily have happened with you were using your phone, so that might just be a you thing.
No, I had to take out liquid paper.
Yeah.
And then I had to white out over this crumbly mess, and I have a tiny box, 1 inch by 1 inch, to write down all of that day's activities.
Yeah.
That's what I never understood. You do the month at a glance. I do the week at a glance. You have more room.
I just need I need a good calendar app that like is fun and easy to use and not annoying. Okay.
Sure.
What would you fuck, Georgia?
Right, you want to go? You want me to go?
I was purity balls.
What the fuck?
My
God.
I was reading about purity balls and watching videos about
What? Is this
purity
a
balls is like this
Jonas
movement
Brothers
that got
thing?
started in by this lunatic in Colorado, where the notion is it's typically, in fact, almost universally evangelical Christians. The daughter of this household has to sort of profess her chastity to her father, and her father is almost like the controller of her sexuality.
She gives him with her purity, right?
Yep, and she gives him her purity starting at the age of... It's very strange that in order to make them less sexual, they're sexualizing them very early. So 8, 10, 12 years old, and they have galas all over the country, but the big ones in Colorado. And every year, all these like hyper evangelical people show up with their 8, 10, 12, 16-year-old daughters, and these men will take a, like, the girls take a flower and they put it at their father's feet and they dance with their.
And they get
don't
they also
very
get like
weird.
a ring for their engagement finger too, like a
they
purity
get
ring,
the purity ring.
which is so creepy.
Yeah,
You guys.
I know.
This is why it's good to get angry about some things, because you're like,
What am I going to do about
Yeah,
this?
you
sort
talk
of,
about it on a podcast,
That's
and people are
true.
like, you know what? Women own themselves, and they aren't owned by.
you can look it up on
Family patriarch.
YouTube too. There's all these
Really?
like there's like the guy that started started like 10 years ago.
Your vagina belongs to you from birth. You know what I mean? It is my vagina.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Yeah.
hoozle.
You came out of a vagina.
I know. Isn't it weird that you were, for at least 5 minutes, you were a vagina in a vagina?
Actually, I wasn't. I was C-section.
Oh.
So.
You've never been in
Never
all
been
the way
in a
through
vagina.
a vagina.
I mean, there was once in high school. No, there wasn't.
All the way through. What do you hate?
Oh, I hate. Well, it's April Fool's Day, so I was going to say that, but I feel like it's not going to be April Fool's Day anymore when this happens.
That's true.
So I'm gonna. Okay, I take spinning classes, and I'm really into spinning.
Mm-hmm.
Don't laugh at me.
No,
I take spinning classes. I love spinning. They provide you with sanitizing little throwaway towels to wipe your bike down afterwards, so that the next person who comes in doesn't have your germs on it. And half of the people in the class, I fucking swear to God, every time they grab the towel when they get off their bikes, and the first thing they wipe down is the seat, and then they wipe down the bars.
Oh.
And it drives me fucking crazy because you're wiping your butt sweat
Yeah.
off and then all over the handlebars.
Yeah, they got that wrong.
What the fuck would make you think that that's how you do it? That's like wiping from back to front.
I
It doesn't
know.
make any sense.
I know.
It's very particular.
They're just checked out, man. They're microbes. They left like a couple million microbes.
So wait,
behind.
do you have confidence that the sanitizing wipe itself is killing?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so you don't believe in that. You think
No,
that's that's mumbo jumbo.
I do. I think it's mumbo jumbo, and I try not to care.
So then the whole thing is useless if you don't think that it works, right?
But it's the thought that counts in my mind. It's like you did not think this through enough that
Sure.
you're.
I could see myself doing that because I'm not particularly germophobic. I would mostly.
I'm sorry. I think I would start with number one. Yeah, let's get the butt sweat off.
Yeah, I know. I think I'd be like, I'm getting the important stuff, guys. I think
I
What
think
if
of it
you
as
wipe?
courtesy.
I think of it as wiping down the handlebars and the knob where you turn it up and down.
Sure.
That's clean because it's the first swipe. Now let me take that kind of dirty towel and clean off the
No, I get
dirtiest
what you're
part of it
saying.
all.
I get what
Yeah.
you're saying, but also you have to also get hip to the fact that there are more germs on your cell phone from your hands than on a public toilet from a butt.
But I like my own butt germs, not
we all
other
like our own
people's.
butt germs. Georgia. Is that what you would fuck? Would you fuck your own butt germs?
I'd fuck my. No, I would not.
What's so great that you would fuck
what's
it?
so great that I want to fuck? Oh, here's something that nobody ever thinks about anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best thing in the world, and I forget this except for once a year when I do it, which is drink chocolate milk.
Oh yeah.
You guys had chocolate milk lately?
I do that with eggnog. I have it like twice a year.
yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Why don't I do this all the time?
But if you have it 3 times, you're like, this is just fucking
Yeah.
disgusting.
Two is a sweet spot too. That's good to know.
So much sugar in it.
When did
but-
you have chocolate milk?
I was at Trader Joe's the other night, and I was like, oh, and I read somewhere that it's actually a really good, it's a good post-workout drink.
Oh, it's got protein.
Yeah,
sugar.
a lot of protein.
It is delicious. I haven't had it in years.
Yeah.
That's a really great.
It was
I'm loving
mind-blowing.
this, by the way.
Yeah, you need to get it next time you're.
I
They
need
have
to
like
get
a
it.
low-fat.
Yeah. I should put that on my cereal.
Yes.
Like
You know we
grape
have
nuts.
a cocktail that's made from cereal milk.
It's called Serial Killer.
Oh, you guys have been to Momofuku
It's-
Milk Bar? Have you had the cereal milk there?
No.
no, we've heard of it though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But look at that Serial Killer, full circle, guys. Wah,
Yeah.
wah.
Alie, what do you?
One thing
hate?
I love so much.
Love.
I would fuck. Oh, it's a dog, so I feel weird about this. But there's this dog called Derek the dog that I stumbled upon on Instagram because I went on a hashtag hole, and it's Derek DEREK _the _dog, and it has like 700 followers. It's LA based. It was a rescue, but it was a Pekingese, and its face got smushed in, and it looks like a very grumpy bear. And every time there's a photo, I'm delighted. So Derek the dog is I think Derek the dog deserves to have the kind of cachet that the Yogurt the Pirate has, which is another very popular Instagram. Anyway,
Okay.
so I'd fuck that. Then fuck that dog.
So tell us what
And
yours
mine
is.
actually is related to yours. I'm obsessed with Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
I think Trader Joe's it feels like charity.
Yep.
When
I
you
agree.
walk in. You walk in and you're like, I cannot believe everything here looks so delicious, and it's all like $5 for
I
dinner.
know.
And
You
it's
can get,
not
like,
terribly bad
poutine,
for
you can get bibimbap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not terribly bad. It's not like super Whole Foods, fancy, but like it's all amazing. I literally if Trader Joe's ever went out of business, I would have to talk about that in therapy.
It's Korean.
It would be a big deal.
Bibimbap. Okay.
Yeah, I never knew how to pronounce that.
Yeah, bibimbap is like
I knew
it's
had
a
heard
Korean
that,
dish.
but you can get that at
In the frozen section.
what the fuck?
You can get that. I mean, and it's fucking great. You can get poutine. They have a poutine which is really good.
I haven't had that. Is that you know what's really fun is
their
when
poutine's
we
great.
always like to go to Trader Joe's with someone we've never gone there with because they're
Yeah.
like, have you tried this kimchi? It's like,
I know.
okay, you got to try their stuff.
I've never had the
Like,
kimchi. Is it
Kimchi's good.
See, these are things that I skip over because I go get my herb salad, I get my
Yeah.
shit, I get
Sure.
my cheese, I get my Havarti, I get my stuff, and then I leave. And because especially if you go alone, weep. You're never like, should we get this? You're never like
try this.
looking at pot pies. You're getting your shit and then you're leaving. So this is really
Oh,
good to know.
in LA because it's so isolating. I make.
Spend a couple hours
I
there.
make grocery shopping is like the subway, so I go to the busiest one I can find, which is the one on Vine.
Yep. Went there today.
And I did too. When'd you
did?
go?
What?
I went at like a little before 3. What time did you go?
Like 11.
Oh fuck.
But
that would
I make it. I make it my subway